Inside the Mind of Greg Heffley continues with Cabin Fever, which is what a bunch of people consider one of the best in the Wimpy Kid series. It takes place around the holidays, and a quick look at the cover will reveal that snow is a huge part of the storyline. Well, the part where they're snowed in happens with only like 50 pages left, but oh well, we're not here to talk about that. Instead, we're gonna take a closer look into the strange mind of Greg Heffley. Is he really gonna grow up to be a sociopath? Well, Cabin Fever is the strangest book out of all the ones so far. Why? Because his terrible actions were oddly minimal. I mean, yeah, he did some bad stuff, but it wasn't anything that a normal middle schooler wouldn't do. Throughout the Wimpy Kid series, he often manipulates or sees himself as high and mighty, but in this book, things were surprisingly different. Before we get into some of Greg's potential redemption arc, let's talk a bit more about his friendship with Rowley. Over the course of the books, we haven't had too much history on why they've become friends in the first place. It involved Rowley telling knock-knock jokes, but other than that, not a whole lot is known. In Cabin Fever, he starts questioning this, realizing that he doesn't know how he and Rowley ended up being friends at all. He said that they're stuck together now, so he just overlooks the annoying stuff. Well, I think that while Greg doesn't outright say it here, he decided to become friends with Rowley due to Rowley's innocent nature and the fact that he can be manipulated so easily. Of course, Greg wouldn't specifically write that because he wants to make himself always look like the good guy. Also, it's not a Wimpy Kid book without some part where Rowley's being mistreated, and that happens when Greg thinks of a dare, but then he sets it up so only his best friend would actually have to go through with it. Anyway, in many past situations, whenever Greg pulls pranks on someone or hurts them in some way, he feels no regret for his actions, which also ends up being a common way of identifying sociopaths in real life. However, Cabin Fever breaks this tradition. There's a part where Greg's mom bought someone a toy robot for their birthday party, and then Greg ended up opening the present and messing with it, breaking the robot's hand and losing a different piece. I've felt guilty about that ever since, and today I didn't want to cheat Dean out of a gift for the second time. Normally there'd be some sort of catch or ulterior motive here, but Greg legitimately writes that he feels guilty. It's pretty inconsistent with the previous books, which is weird. Later in the book, there's a flood in the basement which ruined a family album made by his mom. I did feel pretty bad for Mom when she found out one of the family photo albums got ruined. And then eventually, when the snow kept falling but the streets were being cleared, Greg's mom asked him to take a present down to the police station for the toy drive so it can be given to a young kid. You'd think that in this situation he'd be lazy or decide not to do it, but he actually says, "I knew I'd let some kid down if I didn't turn in our present though, so I found a ski mask in our closet and headed out." Okay, what's really going on here? Hashtag not my Heffley. Nah, but seriously, if he's been going through life not feeling any regret for his actions, what's with the sudden change in Cabin Fever? Well, it's a bit too small to entirely debunk the sociopath theory. Studies have shown that sociopaths have the ability to feel empathy, especially if they think of putting themselves in someone else's shoes. The idea that Greg grows up to become a sociopath isn't out of the picture just because of these small instances. Now, if the next few books are consistent with him becoming a better person, then yeah, that would make the theory a whole lot weaker. But still, there's also the fact that he assumes these books are going to be read by everyone when he becomes famous one day, which is why he writes himself seeming like a good person. Next up in the series is the third wheel, focusing on Valentine's Day and Greg's love life. Will the path to redemption be revealed, or will the surprisingly positive moments in Cabin Fever be forgotten as he falls deeper into his manipulative nature? Find out in part 7. But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.